So we begin first with Atomic Heart. So this game came out early last year, and initially there was a bit of drama around it, but overall the game seemed fun. I have played this game via the Game Pass. Again, did not finish it, but tried a little bit for a few hours, and I thought it was interesting, a little different. Had some sort of, Bioshock type of feel, if that makes sense. And yeah, overall I thought this was well optimized, ran well, looked good, and had a weird sort of setting and story. So it's set in a sort of alternate USSR in the 1950s, and they are trying to create this utopian world with these robots and things like that. And of course, things go wrong, and you are like a soldier who has to deal with all these robots and AI gone wrong, things like that. So yeah, interesting game, very unusual looking as well. And yeah, overall, I thought this was a fun game. This is, of course, on a new low, as are all the games in this video. So right now, this game is 55% off, which is $27. I still think it would go down a little more before I buy it myself. $24.74 in the UK, $1200 in India, $36 in Canada, $27 in the Eurozone. Next, we have the Callisto Protocol, and I have noticed this game keeps dropping a little bit in every major sale. So once again, this is a survival shooter style game. I think you are like a prisoner on a spaceship and you have to survive the horrors and the creatures there. Graphically looks impressive, very gory as well. This actor, I've seen him in like a few movies and I instantly recognized him, like the graphics are that good. So yeah, overall seems like an interesting game, and it is at a price where you may want to consider this. The recent reviews are now positive on Steam. Overall, it's still sitting in the slightly mixed category, but almost close to positive. So you could get it now or wait a little more, and I'm pretty sure by the end of the year, this should be even cheaper. So the base game here is 70% off, $18, $720 in India, £15, $23.39 in Canada, and $17.69 in the Eurozone. There's the digital deluxe version, which is a little more, so at $20, sorry, $800 in India. So it's up to you, whichever you prefer. Next, we have Back 4 Blood. So this is a Warner Brothers published game made by Turtle Rock, pretty much similar to Left 4 Dead. For some reason, people did not like this game. I tried a little bit with a friend via the Game Pass, and I thought it was alright. It played like the other games in this genre. I've played Vermintide, both the Vermintide games. I've played Left 4 Dead 2. I've played Dark Tide as well, a little bit. And yeah, so it did not feel particularly great, but also not that bad either. Plus, right now, it's on a massive sale. So if you were thinking about trying it out, it may be worth a look. So right now, this game, base version, is 90% off. In fact, both versions are 90% off. $6, $300 in India, £5, $8 in Canada, $6 in the Eurozone. Ultimate Edition is a little more at $10, $500, $9 in the UK, $13 in Canada, $10 in the Eurozone. If I was to buy this game, I think I would stick with the normal version. Next, we have Star Wars Jedi Survivor, so the sequel to the first game, whatever it was called, Jedi something. And this one had some performance issues when it came out, so I heard a lot of optimization problems with this one, which is not surprising. This is a game made by Respawn. They do some things very well, and then some issues are there. I know because I've played a lot of Apex and Titanfall. At the core, they make really good games. So yeah, the first game was successful. This one I'm pretty sure is a decent game as well. I think the negative reviews were mostly for the performance related stuff. But as with the other games I've mentioned just now, it is now getting to positive. So recent reviews are positive. Overall, it is mixed at 65. At 70%, it becomes positive. So it's almost there. Being an EA game, this might drop even further very soon. So you could wait a little more if you're not in a hurry to play this game. If you're a big Star Wars fan, you like these games, then you can go for it. It is now on a 55% sale. $31.49 in the US, $15.74 in India, $27 in the UK, $40 in Canada, and $31 in Canada. In the Eurozone. So like I said, EA games tend to drop in prices. You'll find out soon in this video. So I would say if you're not in a rush, wait, because this will definitely get a lot cheaper. Now, speaking of EA, the next game here is Need for Speed Unbound, the latest in the Need for Speed games. This came out December 2022, so keep that in mind. It's just over a year old, technically, like a year and 3 months. And this is 90% off now. Of course, this was always mixed. It's still at mixed, but at 90% off. It's a very cheap game. If you're like an old racing, casual arcade racing fan like me, I played the early Need for Speed era. I'm talking about the stuff in the 90s. I played those games. I started playing those games. So I have a soft spot for this. I tend to pick up these games because the other reason is these racing games get delisted after a few years, 5-6 years usually, because of licensed cars and licensed musics. So for that reason, I tend to pick them up, sort of collect them and play them whenever I'm in the mood. Sometimes it's just for one or two particular cars that are available in one version. So I never bothered with the story and stuff. Early games did not have stories. So yeah, I have fond memories of this series from the 90s and I like that. So I still end up picking them up. But if you are against it, I'm perfectly fine. I understand. However, this is 90% off. So the base version is $7, $3.49 in India, $6 in the UK, $9 in Canada, $7 in the Eurozone. The sort of complete version called the Unbound Palace Edition is $8, so only $1 more. $4.29 in India, $7 in the UK, $10 in Canada. Next is another maybe slightly controversial game is Diablo IV. So the first Diablo game on Steam. It is now in season 3. I have this game. I have it on battle.net. Again, old gamer like me have good memories of games like these, so I still end up buying them. I would say that if you don't spend money on the microtransactions, it's not a bad game. It's probably the most casual friendly game of the ARPGs around right now. So stuff like Last Epoch or Path of Exile, they may seem complicated. So if you are looking for a slightly more casual ARPG, then maybe Diablo is a good option. Graphically, it's probably the best one right now on the market. So yeah, again on Steam, this is sitting at mixed reviews, which I think is fair. There are minor bugs and stuff, but they have improved quite a lot since I am playing this game regularly. First season wasn't pretty good. Second season, they did improve quite a bit. Third season, they have improved a few things more. So they are trying and improving things and fixing the bugs quickly. So yeah, overall, I've had a great time. I've probably put in like, I would say about 250 hours or something so far. And I think it's all right. I don't play it every day. I play it when the season starts. I play for a couple of weeks and then I move on to other things and then come back next season to see what's new. Okay, having said that, it is now 50% off. So it has not been at this price so far. This is $35 in the US, $2,800 in India, $30 in the UK, $45 in Canada, and $35 in the Eurozone. I'll leave that up to you whether you are a big fan of these style of games and if you think this price is good. I paid a lot more. Obviously, I paid it soon after launch, so I paid like 50 for this 54 or something. So yeah, there's no point buying the digital deluxe edition in my opinion, or the ultimate edition. Just skip that. If you do end up wanting to play the season and the battle pass, that's at $10 on top. You don't have to buy that, so just get the base game. Next is A Plague Tale Requiem. So this is finally a really good game that I can wholeheartedly recommend without any issues. Almost 90% positive on Steam. Sequel to one of the best linear story-driven games, Plague Tale Innocence. And yeah, it continues the story of Amicia and her brother Hugo. This came out again towards the end of 2022. I think is available on the Game Pass. I'm not 100% sure. And this is now, at least here in India, for the first time, under 1,000. So this is 60% off, $919 in India, $20, so under 20 as well. $18, 18 pounds, sorry, 28 in Canada, 20 in the Eurozone. Based on how good the first game was, I think the price is decent. You can play this, you'll get decent value out of it. Should be like, yeah, main story will take you 17 hours on average. With the extras, almost 20 hours, completion is 27. So decent length as well. And I think, again, it's a good game, but it may drop a little more, so you could wait a bit more. The first one usually goes to an 80% sale, but I have not seen it go beyond that. So I think at this price point, if you are a fan, it's worth picking up. Next is another game that I have been wanting to try. This is made by Obsidian, and this is Pentiment. So it's made like in an old sort of cartoon art style, old paintings and stuff. So it is a bit of a adventure game with some murder mysteries and things like that. I just like the art style and the way this looks. And apparently it's a pretty good game. It's got an even better rating at 92% almost on Steam. Again, I felt like the regional price wasn't great on this, which is one of the reasons why I did not get this, but I think this is also available on Game Pass. So this is 50% off right now, $649 in India, $10, $749 in the UK, $12.49 in Canada, and $10 in the Eurozone. This is the Gunk. So the Gunk is again a bit of a relaxing adventure style game. Basically, you are like playing as one character called Rani, and you are with the team with your friend, and you land on an alien planet, and this whole place is covered with the weird style of gunk. And you just have an arm-mounted sort of cleaner that you use to sort of suck up all the gunk. And once you do that, the area comes back to life. So vegetation comes back and color comes back, things like that. So I found it to be relaxing and even therapeutic a little bit. And yeah, it's not a very long game, maybe like 5 hours or something. So I thought this was a nice casual game to play, and you discover the story of this planet and what happened here while you are cleaning the whole thing. So this is 65% off, $874, just $200 in India, so the regional price is pretty good. $7 in the UK, $10.14 in Canada, and $8.74 in the Eurozone. Another Need for Speed game. This is Need for Speed Rivals from 2013. So this is probably one of the oldest Need for Speeds that is still available to purchase here, and this is also on a massive sale. So if you are like me and you want to collect these Need for Speed games, this might be a good time because this could get delisted in the coming year or two. So this is 90% off, $199, 99 rupees, 179 in the UK, 269 in Canada, and 199 in the Eurozone. This is also the complete version. Next is Deliver Us Mars. So this is a sequel to Deliver Us the Moon. A nice little adventure game. I really like the first one. This one is definitely bigger in scale and has like a third person named protagonist and stuff like that. Reviews are mostly positive and 73%. Game is 60% off, $4.39 in India, $12, $10 in the UK, $13.59 in Canada, and there's a deluxe version which is a little more. Next is Ender Lillies Quietus of the Nights. So this is a Metroidvania. So interesting looking Souls-like game in 2D. You wake up as a little girl and you have this knight with you, a sort of dead spirit, immortal knight, and you go around, defeating monsters and stuff like that. I like the art style. It looks decent, and it's also a good game, well priced. Regional pricing is also pretty good. So this is 60% off, $10, $232 in India, $8.79 in the UK, $12.39 in Canada, and $10 in the Eurozone. Next is Death's Door. So another game I think might be available on the Game Pass, but I did get this game and I have played this. A lot of people say this is similar to the Zelda games of the past, and it's got a nice art style, interesting setting, interesting monsters and things like that. You are like what do you call this? A reaper of souls, basically a crow. You go and collect souls, and one job you find that the soul has been stolen by someone else, so you have to go around trying to figure that out. And yeah, it's a really interesting, very nice looking game in my opinion. The color style and things like that are really nice. So this is 75% off, $5 only, $2.20 in India, $4.18 in the UK, $6.49 in Canada, $4.87 in the Eurozone. Next is Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2. So another fun action 2D shooter basically. I liked the first game quite a lot, and when this came out I bought it instantly and I did play it. So you are playing as a mafia guy, Vinnie Cannoli, and this is set in the 1940s. The first one was set earlier. This is during the Second World War, so he's basically going to Europe and killing the Nazis in this one. So yeah, it's a fun game, also in co-op, so you can have your friend with you. Very colorful, interesting weapons and things like that. Just a fast-paced game. And this is 60% off, $167 in India, $5.19 in the US, £4.11, $5.79 in Canada, $5.19 in the Eurozone. So about a $5 game. And then my last game for this video is Hardspace Shipbreaker. So this is more of a simulation style game, if that makes sense. It's not simulating a real life job or something, but you are basically someone in space who has a lot of debt, basically something you can never pay off to a big company. and your job is to sort of take apart and salvage spaceships and things like that. Surprisingly relaxing and enjoyable game. I have played this one. So if you play any simulator games, even something like SnowRunner or things like that, this is sort of like that. So this is now on a 60% sale, $13.99 in the US, $6.39 in India, $12 in the UK, and $19 in Canada. So yeah, that's it for this one. I'll be trying to make a few more videos based on price, best deals under 10, under 5, and things like that. So stay tuned, and yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.